Yo, you know I'm terrified of that shit, right?
Oh, clowns?
Oh my god.
We have your first talking point.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm like, okay, cool, clowns.
No,
Right?
no.
I love clowns. So.
You do.
Only
See,
clown I
that's
respect is
That's
Joker.
why.
Yeah.
Is that scary?
No, you gotta
He's like, don't joke around.
with like, you know, like Ronald McDonald's, like that guy creeps me out.
Wrong.
I can actually kind of see that.
Everything, you know, for me, everything started when I was young and I watched It. You know?
Did you really?
The original.
Yeah, I was 5 years old, cause it was in the, you know, I was in Acapulco. My mom was like in the pool, and I was like chilling, and I was just changing channels, and then I see the scene of the boat, and I'm like, oh no way, is that a clown?
Yeah.
And then he's like, and I'm like, what the hell?
You played yourself.
We all.
That's right.
Yeah,
You played yourself.
We all floated.
I think
You played yourself. Count it.
All right, guys. So before we got started, we were talking about fears. So we're gonna start with that. Your biggest fears. Okay. So go ahead and just tell me what they are, so then we all know.
We're gonna start with you though.
Whoa. What? No. First question was asked, so you guys start, and then I'll
You know,
go.
I'll take over. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
like I can give you 2 fears of mine. You know, like the
Okay.
deep one is like failure. You know, I'm really like scared of like failing
Yeah.
in love, in life, in work. You know, but one of my biggest fears is clowns. And I don't like to talk about it. I don't like to talk about it. So
Keep going. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
Clowns.
yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. What?
No. Guys. No. I knew it was the wrong thing to say.
It's okay. It's a safe space here.
I don't know. What do you think, Luke? What are you afraid of?
One of my biggest fears, and I know this off the head, it's being locked up for something I didn't do, or
Whoa.
getting locked up for being crazy and then trying to convince people I'm not crazy and them not believing me. That kind of thing. Like, I saw an episode of Smallville one time, and like, they were trying to tell him that he wasn't Superman, and he imagined the Phantom Zone, and it was like a magazine, and I was tripping. It was too much for me.
I really like that reference though. But that's an intense fear.
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay. Yours.
spiders. I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm like
It's a lot.
so afraid of like everything that I just don't even identify them as fears anymore. I'm just those are just things. Those are all just the stuff in my
I think
life.
I'm afraid of.
But or either that or I'm not afraid of anything. I can't remember.
Dang.
But, yeah. What about? Okay, let's hear.
All right, yeah, 'cause
Maybe
you
this
get-
will trigger something.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of fears, but one of them is fear of heights. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Okay.
My
Why do you
legs
think
get
that is?
because I'm short, probably.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Scared of heights, not at all. I should be used to it.
Really, you're scared of heights?
Not like scared. I wish I wasn't, but I do get queasy when I look over ledges because I think that handrail comes up to like above my knee.
Uh huh.
So,
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you fall and you imagine it. But it's not fun. But you know what is fun? Watching Deadly Class.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
So.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how? Yes. Okay, so we got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
What was it like when you guys first worked together? Like, what was that first experience like?
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. We had so much fun together from the first moment. I think we all kind of knew. I think the reason why I was nervous was because we all knew that it could be so amazing, and we all wanted to live up to that. Which
big
is
shoes to fill.
it's a good type of nervous to feel because sometimes you're nervous. You think, oh, is this going to be good? Am I going to dislike my job? Am I going to dislike these people? But we were all just hoping that we would be that everyone would be the people we would think they were going to be, and for as soon as I met everybody, it was like we were like family right away, and we all really loved each other. So it's no more fears. There's
We have
my
a group
fear.
chat called Deadly Cast. We take real good care of each other.
Oh, I love that. Well, see, and this show is actually pretty dark. What was that like for you guys? Because, I think as actors, you kind of have to identify yourself with your character a little bit. But when you're playing these characters that are, basically learning how to assassinate people, how does that work?
It's crazy because I feel like for us actors, like for me, this is such a surreal world. Like some situations are just like not real, but they are real, like for us in our eyes. So like going to these characters, like at least for me, every character is so different, and like my character, he wants to be in the school, you know. He
Yeah.
wants to graduate with honors. He wants to like have his reputation, his credit enough to like someday take over the business that his father has. Unlike other characters, like they're forced to be there,
Yeah.
you know, and they don't want to be there. So it's like following a story of can an ethical person stay ethical in such a dark world, you know? And really making people believe that the stakes in this place are real. Because the first episode is really inviting, it's really explanatory, but after the second episode, you get the sense of the real danger that's in King's Dominion all day, every day.
Well, and there's something that, you know, when I did see the first episode, and I think it was awesome
You
too.
liked it? Great.
I did. I think it was one of those things where I kind of thought, you know, like, okay, yeah, sure, you know, people are going to learn how to be assassins. Okay, cool. Like, I got it. But you guys really go into it, even with, you know, the textbooks. What is it like for you guys to be in that kind of space where this is like your world, you know, while you're working on it, and then leaving, you know, the lot and being like, okay, cool, you know, here we are in 2019.
One of my favorite ways I've heard it explained was by Rick, who is wonderfully articulate. He's our writer. He wrote the comic, and he's also the showrunner of our show. And Rick, he said something. He said, it's how high school feels. And if you reminisce and take a nostalgic trip back to high school, things mattered so much. They just meant the world to us, and not in a healthy way. Things that weren't that important felt like when Susie and Ryan broke up, it felt like somebody died. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so heartbroken
Over Susie and Ryan, you know, it was rough. You know, these metaphorical people. But the thing that's cool about Deadly Class is how it felt in high school is how it is here. When it feels like you're stabbed in the back because someone betrayed you, on our show, there might be a dagger there.
Yeah.
The dagger is real. So it's kind of this nostalgic trip. And the world that we've created is this heightened world where the feelings that we had in high school are now given life. They are now given that spirit of fear that you had is now a blade. You know, that fear is now impending doom. What you see in the pilot with Marcus and our character Chico, that's some impending doom right there, you know?
Yeah, well, it was terrifying. I was really concerned for you.
He's a really nice guy. He did a good job being
I know.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to know, like, you guys personally, what would you do if you ended up going to this school? Like, if you were kind of, you know, forced to go.
Die.
I've never thought about this. You know, honestly,
that is a great question.
I'd probably quit. I'd try to figure out a way to not go there.
Okay.
I think for me, I would like surrender myself to like be bullied in the beginning, just to like keep like learning and learning and learning,
Yeah.
and then just strike back, just bam.
Be the underdog.
The underdog, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something that Chico does is like even though he's like the leader of the Sword of Battles and all that stuff, he never shows power, you know, because he knows power is a threat and you can become a target. So he knows his power, you know, he's really mental. So like he just goes over like through the hallways. I call him the snake. He's like a little snake. He goes through the hallways, you know.
Big snake.
And then big snake. And then he just like strikes. But he's not there like, hey, look at me, look at my power. He's just silence, and when he hits, he strikes.
Conniving.
For the neck.
Yeah.
I would do something like that, you know, like keep quiet in the beginning and then just go crazy.
I try to leave.
What about you?
Yeah. I'd try to leave and
Yeah,
then
you too.
get hit on the way I'd die.
I know, it's pretty violent. But, you know, you did touch upon this earlier. It is based off of a comic book.
Yes.
What is it like for you guys to really see these characters and, like, try to, you know, emulate them? I mean, of course, you've got that source material, but is there anything else that you kind of just, like, brought into your character?
Yeah, well, Maria said it really well one time. She said it's a responsibility. We have a duty. There are people out there who have spent years with these characters, and we have been blessed and fortunate enough to tell these character stories. But they've existed in people's minds already. There are fans who are passionate about the way that these people are set up and the world that they live in. So it's our job not just to bring it to life from page to screen, but to give an honest translation from one medium to the next. Because there are some things that we can't do with a comic book. Like, I'm 6'3". I weigh a lot more than you would think Willie looked in the comic. But there's a great scene in the comic where Marcus catches Willie. We can't really do that because that wouldn't make any physical sense. But since we have a medium where we can watch these characters and we have actors bringing them to life, there are other things that the comic could not do that we have a responsibility to do. Not to replace, but to bring to life in a literal sense. Yeah.
Well, and I think also, you know, it's like they kind of go hand in hand. You're going to get something from the comic books that you're not going to be able to get, you know, in the show. Would you recommend people read the comic books first and then watch Deadly Class, or just kind of go along with it?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think you can do either or. I think they both kind of stand
100%
by themselves. And yeah, I'm a fan of the comic books, and it's so cool because I think some people, when you read a book, you go like, oh, I can't watch the movie now because it's not going to be as good, or I have to read the book first or something like that. But with this, I think I read the comic book first, and it didn't interfere with my enjoyment of the show at all. They're two different things, but they are also very intertwined. But the creator, Rick Remender, of the comic books, and he's also the showrunner on our show, he's been the most incredible, very smart, obviously, but also very humble in letting us all bring our own vision to the show, 100% to bring whatever we feel to our characters, to the story, and I think he is just a fantastic collaborative partner. We're very, very lucky. Yeah.
Well, and continuing, you know, with the whole comic book idea, we got to get into superheroes and, you know, the nerdiness that we're all really expanding on. You know, we've got Marvel, we got DC. Tell me, you know, what was the first time you realized, like, wow, dude, I'm a nerd and it's awesome?
I love it, man. You know, one thing that I think we all clicked in is like we are all nerds in a way. You know, like the whole cast. The whole cast. We started like talking about like anime, and they would know about it. We would talk about like this like cartoons that I watched in Spanish when I was a kid, but they would still watch it in English when they were a kid. You know,
Which
like
one?
I don't know, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I'm rewatching. But we can go all the way back to like Rocket Power.
Rocket Power.
You know, like Rocket Power. You know, like stuff. It's crazy. And
every Sunday too, we get together and we play Dungeons and Dragons. So
our dungeon master is Sean Deppner. He plays Victor. Oh man, he is so awesome. He's just good at being the master of the dungeon. It's just, it's so much fun. We're geeks, we're nerds.
So like every Sunday at 3, we would get together and play D&D, and for like 6-7 hours. It was awesome. Wow. So I'm really proud to say I'm a nerd. You know, to say I'm a geek. I'm all for that, 100%.
So we've got Dungeons and Dragons, we've got anime. What else are you guys like madly like fanboys of?
I love video games. I actually was just playing Zelda Breath of the Wild with my lady last night. We just got the Master Sword. I don't know if any of you guys know what that means, but it means we can now seal Ganon, and we will save Hyrule. So
that's exciting. I have no idea what you're saying, but I'm very excited for you.
It's important stuff.
This is important.
Yes.
Yeah. Video games. What about you?
Yeah, I've always been a huge fan of video games, and also starting to be into comics a lot now because of Rick's work. Yeah. Because I didn't know that you could put comics. To me, are such an interesting art form because you can. It's basically like a film in a lot of ways, but you're able to make it with a lot less money. It's like a snapshot into a film, and it's a beautifully created. It's like one of the last really creative bastions that you can make something because it's homegrown. It's like a lot of what the show is about this homegrown art that people were making in their basements, in their garages. You know, punk rock music is a big, huge influence on Rick and the show, and this was just something that people could do for themselves to show that they are passionate, because we all have art forms and we all want to be passionate in our own creating our own art. So I think comics are really cool.
Yeah.
You guys, you heard that here first. But last little question for you guys. If you can summarize this whole first season of Deadly Class in one word, each of you guys, what would it be?
Should we create a sentence?
Oh, you can.
No,
yeah. Whichever way.
I think one word that describes the first season is unexpected. Like people are going to expect stuff that's not going to happen, and then they're going to expect stuff not to happen that is going to happen. So I feel like it's just like an unexpected show. You're they won't be able to at the end of the episode be like,
what's gonna happen next. You know, like
You
what?
don't know.
Yeah.
That was more than one word. But no, unexpected, right? Yeah.
Unexpected, you're
Okay, yeah, and I would say, for me personally, it means something different to me. But I think this might be the way the audience feels, and I'll take a little hyphenated word and say life changing, which is a lot to say about a show. But this show deals with so many tough themes, and it's a really just. It's a very compassionate story when you get down to the root of it, and how you need to have compassion for your fellow men and women, and see that everyone is human. So yeah.
Oh, I like that.
And for me, although the show is fantastic, and I don't necessarily mean excellent, which I do believe it is, I mean fantastical. Although it is heightened, I would say true. And whether that be true to the comics or true to life, I believe that it's true.
Ooh, that was a great way to end it. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank
We're
you,
so
guys.
excited. We're so excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Red Carpet Familia. Let's go.
Much appreciated.